Hello, everyone. Welcome to our official second podcast for Soundwaves. My name is Marcela Herrera. I hope you are enjoying your time with your family and friends, maybe both. I'm pretty much done eating, I think. So that's it. Diet time, exercise time. I did. I enjoyed my time. On this podcast, I actually had two brave souls, two of our wonderful sonographers who had agreed to do the podcast. But alas, it is the holidays. One is traveling and the other had an emergency, and everybody else is traveling. So it's just me today. So I hadn't anticipated being questioned or speaking for one of these podcasts for a while, but you're stuck with me today. So what I did was I went ahead and had people send me questions. I haven't seen them, and I'll answer them truthfully, and that will be our second podcast. So here we go. Haven't seen these. Hold on a second. I have to read them. Okay. I'm being asked, how long have you been a sonographer? Oh, man. It's going to be 20 years next year. Wow. So yeah, 19 years. Goodness, time flies. That's crazy to me. I'm in shock. That's all I can say. Wow, 19 years. Yep, a long time, it appears. And yet it didn't feel like that. And yet it had to have been, because I had learned so much. So I'm grateful. All right, let's see what the next question. Thanks for freaking me out. Next question. What inspires you every day? It really is just knowing that whatever I'm going to be doing, I'm going to give them my best. Some days are better than others, right? But I'm always giving my best. Which leads to the next question. What is it that you do with Soundwaves? Okay. My official title is that I'm the Director of Operations. What that really means is that I go where I'm needed. So I can be assisting on issues with the ultrasound machines or the web-based server. If the sonographer during the period of time that they're seeing patients, they can't figure it out, then I will assist, and many times I have to go on site to take care of things. So I learned a lot when joining Soundwaves in regards to all of that. I was completely oblivious to most of it, because where I used to work before, there was somebody else that handled all that. So now I'm the person that handles that. So I certainly learned a lot. So I'm grateful for that. I could be, if we get new updated ultrasound machines, I train everybody, or I set up trainings, whether it's through GE or Samsung or whomever we're working with. I train people, the sonographers. Sometimes in a few weeks, we're good to go. Sometimes people take much longer depending on their experience. Not everybody is, used to writing such detailed reporting and being able to really express properly in a report what they're seeing. And so that's a skill that they would have to learn. So wherever I'm needed in regards to that, I visit offices, accounts that we currently have, the doctors that we have relationships with, and sonographers that are scanning there. And then I'm out and about introducing ourselves at new offices, new locations, and telling them all about us, kind of spreading the word. I do online marketing. I do social media accounts. Had some assistance for a little bit, and I'm doing that. I started this YouTube channel because I figured it was the best way for anybody, any physician that is interested in us. They can just watch and listen and get a feel for who we are. So there's that. I could be, looking over people's reports to assure quality. God, just about anything. Sometimes I'm a secretary as well. I'm doing everything to assist. So that's what I do for Soundwaves, and I scan. Yes, I scan. I am a sonographer, so often if there's a last minute issue, or if office needs to be covered, I will fill in if we can't get anybody else. So that's what I do. All right. Next question. Is it true you're an actor? Oh. I wasn't going to talk about that because this is Soundwaves. But yes, it is true. I am an actor. I'm not going to say too much about it in regards to Soundwaves. If you're at all interested in that aspect of who I am, you can look me up on Instagram and follow me. Okay. I see who wrote that. I'm going to get you. All right. Next question is, what is the experience working in different offices? I've had nothing but great experiences. We're very lucky. All the doctors are wonderful. Staff, managers, really, truly. I get excited when I get to go to the different offices because I haven't seen people maybe in a while. And so that's my excuse to be able to, talk with them for a bit if I can. Sometimes you're so busy, you don't even have time for that, but it's nice to see them. It's nice to see them. Sometimes it brings little treats and stuff to the office, and gosh, it's going to be the holiday. Well, we have Thanksgiving, right? But I can't believe it's the end of the year. Wow. I feel like I just celebrated like a month ago. It's crazy. Wow, time flies. But yeah, that's been my experience. Honestly, we're very lucky. Good people. Okay, next question. How challenging is it to remember what is needed in each office? I keep really good notes, but sometimes things change and I'm not told. So perhaps a sonographer that goes to a location often, if I'm covering for them, they'll clue me in. We communicate amongst ourselves. So they might give me a heads up, or they may not even be aware that I don't know something. And I think the best thing to do is, and what we do is we arrive to the office earlier before the first patient comes in, and we walk around and just ask everybody, is this still how we're running things? Is there anything I should know? Are there any changes, etc.? So that's how I take care of that. So sometimes I don't remember if it's been a while, truthfully, but that's why you never rush in for your job. You come in nice and early, you set up the room, you wait the way you want it, so you're good to go for that first patient. And I'd say the majority of us, we actually come in and we'll go over the schedule, and if we have access to the records, so if it's with our web-based server, we will go through the schedule and look to see if there was any previous studies, anything that we would need to compare. All that stuff is going to be in our notes. Some of the offices they have their own system. There may be one or two of them that I'm just not going to have access to, and it's too complicated for them to give me a temporary access. So I might have to stop and ask. I might ask an MA or a nurse or even the doctor, what the patient is being seen for, if there's something that I should be aware of. Sometimes they'll print out previous exams and give that to us with the encounter forms, and that's how we know. But yeah, that's basically, if you do that and you're organized and you have your attention to detail, you're not going to mess up. I mean, you're going to do just fine. Okay, next question. What is the most challenging part of your job? What is the most challenging part of your job? Traffic. Driving on the freeway when they're doing construction work and you're trapped by all the trucks and you have rocks being thrown at your car and you cannot escape. At least that's related to my part of what I do for Soundwaves, because I do a lot of traveling in the car. So that's a challenge. Maybe sometimes, if I'm trying to troubleshoot an issue with the system or laptop or something like that, and I can't figure it out as fast as I'd like to, that might be a bit challenging. As far as what I do, I don't know. I mean, just like any other day, you can have days that run very smoothly. You can have days that seem a bit chaotic. In the end, it works out the way it works out because you choose to handle it and respond in a positive manner, But we're all human, and, some days can be a little bit challenging, but never to the extent that it affects what I do or how I work with people. Nothing like that at all. But those are probably the most, I would say, the traffic and the fact that my poor car has been destroyed. Yeah, South Florida and the highways are, especially when you go more north, oof, can be tough. All right, next question. How did you and Denise meet? Oh, I answered an ad, but I knew about her. I think I said this in the first podcast, because she knows, we know, the instructor from the school that we attended, and runs the entire program. Everybody knows her. She's so kind. She's so nice. She's very well respected, and she's just she's just such a wonderful person. Like, she's so nice to communicate with and work with. So everybody knows her. Anyway, so while I was in school, so Denise has been doing this longer than me. But when I was in school, I had heard about Denise, and I had heard about what she had started, and I can't remember specifically. I want to say that it's quite possible that it was initially brought up by the person that runs the department of sonography in the school that we attended to. So it's possible. Please excuse my dog delivery. But yeah, I answered an ad, and I had told her that I had heard about her, and I think we spoke perhaps a year prior to that. And I just kind of wanted to see what she had available. And at the time, it didn't suit what I needed or what she needed. But, I was kept in the loop, and that was it. And I think she says, like, literally 10 minutes after she had posted what she was looking for, I replied. I want to say that it happened for a reason. Like, that's life, isn't it, guys? You try to go this way, but life takes you that way, and if you fight it, you're going to get nowhere. But if you just go with the flow and let things happen, it's just like all of a sudden things fall into place and you didn't even have to do that much. It's very strange, but that's what happened. And I think over a course of a few months, we communicated. And then I believe I even offered like a temporary trial for her to see what I was capable of. Because how can you really judge? You might like somebody, but you don't really know their skills. So I think we did something along those lines, and then finally I was brought aboard. So, and that's it. The rest is history. So, um, okay. Are you originally from South Florida? If not, I knew it. Okay, no, I'm not, but I have lived here way longer than where I grew up. So go figure, right? But no, no, my until I was graduate of high school, I grew up somewhere else, and that's funny. Well, what are you gonna do? Where you grew up is where you grew up. You kind of bring that with you everywhere you go, right? See, now I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. This person's going to need to elaborate. Okay, let me see the next question. Do you have children, and are they interested in what you do? Any future sonographers? Okay, yes, I have two big kiddos. One will be college bound soon, and the other not too far behind. Um, are they interested in what I do? No, not really, not now. Um, oh, but I have a funny story. Okay. So I was a sonographer in a maternal fetal medicine office that I'm very grateful that I got to be there. One of the doctors that I worked with the entire time was a doctor that liked to teach. And he worked hard to whip me into shape. I'm going to be very honest with you. Um, Sometimes it was frustrating because you just kind of wanted to get through your day, and I kept getting called back, because he wanted to make sure that I didn't just do something for the sake of doing it, but that I understood the reasoning behind it. And I was grateful for that, actually. And it definitely molded who I am today and how I approach my work. So, that being said, I was pregnant and had my children during that time. And I was very grateful that when I had my ultrasounds, that I could look at it and really evaluate it and to be certain that everything looked good to me as well. I had many eyes on it, obviously, but that was important to me. Hard for me to sit and do anything and not know how it works. I'm kind of like that with my car now. It's like I'm telling my husband, I'm tired of not knowing how to do this or fix that, or why is it that you send your car in and they're quoting you almost $1,000 for something, and you look up the part, it's $100. Like, why can't I do this on my own? And so I'm that person, right? So same with my approach in work. And so I'm grateful that he taught me that. But anyway, I meant to say that I was pregnant during that time, and I was looking at the exams, and I understood, and thank goodness my children were good. But I remember that any time as they were growing up, they wanted to say, for example, my oldest son, he would tell me that he was incapable of doing his homework, that his brain was not capable of doing or finishing his homework. I would pull out ultrasounds and I would tell him, well, if you look here, I can assure you, you have all the parts you need. So your brain is perfectly fine and you're absolutely capable of doing this. He didn't like that answer. Or anytime he would, ask about something, I'd pull out the ultrasound. And I did it to both of them. And finally they gave up. But I kept those ultrasounds for a while just to be like evaluated all of your parts. You have everything there. Do not fret. You're good. And that was it. Um, so that was cool. I use that to my advantage. Any future sonographers? No, 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 no. Nobody's showing that interest, but they still think that what I do is very important, and I think they're at least one of them is impressed about it. I think maybe, but it's internal. Next question. Good luck with your channel. Oh, thank you. All right. I find your videos to be inspirational. Oh, thanks. I try. That's how we feel. I enjoy them very much. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not a question, just wanted to let you know. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. That actually means a lot to us. So thank you. Yeah. Um, Ultrasound is not just a job, right? It's a call, right? It's a calling. Um, what we do is really, really important. And some people get it. A lot of people still don't get it. Um, I'm trying to think, we're fortunate because the doctors that we have, uh, since a lot of them can read their own exams, whether or not they have a reading doctor through us or not, but a lot of them are capable of reading their own exams. And so, you can tell the difference between a good quality exam, images, and reports, and someone that's very sloppy with it or doesn't really know why they're taking things right. Like the doctor that I worked with that was trying to teach me that, and that I'm grateful for. Um, it's sometimes I remind patients about how important it is for us to be doing the ultrasound at that moment. That's easier to convince on someone that is pregnant, right? Because now the focus is not on them necessarily, although it is for us. Still, there's baby and there's mom. Um, but obviously the focus is on baby, and so they get it. But you know, you have multitude of patients. Some of them avoid us like the plague. Like they do not want to be doing their ultrasounds, and for a variety of reasons. There could be that they have family history of serious stuff, and they're terrified. Um, they could have had a bad experience somewhere where the person wasn't kind or gentle or um, didn't hear them. I don't know. There could be, I've had patients come into the room very, very upset, and it has nothing to do with me at all. It has to do with the fact that they're not happy with their insurance. Um, but I remind them, no matter what, I'm glad that you came for your appointment. It's very important. I'm glad you took the time to, if it's in a pregnancy, to check on your baby and your well-being. If it's gynecological, to take care of yourself. I'll remind them that, they're no good to anybody if they don't take care of themselves first. And as women, we're always taking care of everybody else. And it's hard to find the time, and it's unpleasant, it's uncomfortable for some people. So lots of women suffer, you know, quietly. Uh, I'm glad, I'm really glad that there seems to be more conversation about everything that women go through. There seems to be a push for men to inform other men, to have an understanding and a real sympathy and kindness towards what women go through. It's not easy. And so I remind patients all the time, thank you for coming in. This was really important. And it seems to me that once you remind people of that, uh, things just seem to go smoother. And almost always they'll say, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes we don't get a chance to talk about what we're going through. We're so busy. So it's in those moments that I try to find a real connection and try to share my own experiences. Perhaps it helps them feel better. Um, what we do is really important, and yeah, that's what ultrasound in specifically in women's health means. So, what is your feeling on AI, and do you think our jobs are going to disappear? Ooh, that's a biggie right now, right? Well, as far as AI in the machines that we use, it's already here. Um, and for that, I like because it helps eliminate not everything, but it really brings down the percentage of human errors that can occur, even in the most experienced sonographer. You know, there's ultrasound is a wonderful diagnostic tool, but it does not tell you anything 100%. It is something to be completed in conjunction with other things to paint the complete picture for the attending physician. That's what ultrasound is. I think people sometimes misunderstand and think that the ultrasound is just going to, be a clear yes or no on things. And it's not. And then ultrasound, yes, it's gotten much, much better. We can see so much better than in the past, but there's still factors that play and determine how we're able to see things. So if it's in obstetrics, for example, um, I will tell you from all my experience that almost always when there is like an issue with the baby, there's that one part that we want to see, and I swear to you, the baby hides it, um, in the position or whatever. So, obviously, if you're doing an anatomy scan, if you can't see something, you can't check it off the list, you can't claim that it's okay. But for example, there's a type of herniation, if you will, that can occur in some babies where parts of the intestines could be, outside of the body or organs, depending how severe, because there's in the development of the baby that mid gut hadn't completely closed up, and so I've had experiences where I've done all of the anatomy on a baby, and I'm like, well, almost all of the anatomy on the baby, and that area where I want to look would be one of the last things I need to see. And that baby is just like balled up. And no matter what I do, I can't get this kiddo to move. And then maybe that day or another day, finally you see it and you go, oh my gosh, this is the situation for this baby. It was like he was hiding it. So, or, if there's something that, you're questioning about the heart, and that baby will just be hiding the chest and you can't get those pictures that you want. So there's that scenario. Or if a woman in gynecology, if she comes in very nervous and tense, I don't think people realize your uterus responds to the stresses, right? And it'll contract. So let's say a patient comes in and she's having spotting or bleeding when she's not supposed to, but she's really, really, really nervous, really, really nervous. So her uterus just kind of balls up, right? Well, if there's any kind of polyp or any growth there in the lining, that can be hidden because it just like contracts. And if I can't get that patient to breathe and truly, truly, truly relax and for the uterus to kind of just like chill, um, it can be missed, especially if it's very, very small. Sometimes that takes time. People don't realize in the room, it's not like picture, 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 picture. Okay, you're done. No, sometimes it takes a good 10 minutes for that patient to really, really relax. And as a sonographer, you're starting to look at things and, all of a sudden you might pick up on the thing that you didn't see initially. Um, or if you're nervous, your intestines start to go crazy. Well, we see those intestines and everything inside moving about. And if we're trying to look for your ovaries and your ovaries are, about 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters, if you're older, they shrink. They get hidden by all this going on in your pelvis. And yeah, those are some of the challenges with ultrasound. So it's not perfect. And obviously, the person that has more experience is going to recognize these challenges. And, we have some ideas up our sleeve to keep patients relaxed for example, myself. I will bring to each place, I have these lamps that create like a water effect, and they're in different colors. And so I have two of them, and I pick two colors. And then I always have, not spa music because I would fall asleep, but, maybe jazz or something in the background. And always patients tell me, thank you so much. Instead of looking at a white wall, I'm looking at this, I'm listening to your voice, I hear the music, and it calms them. So when we're dealing with babies, there's certain tricks that, whether it's positioning the mom in a certain way or, getting them to relax or walk, get up for a bit and come back down, whatever it is, we can try to work past all the things that are going against us during that time that we're with you. But anyway, so AI helps reduce the percentage of error that can occur. It's just something there to kind of back up what you're looking at. And if a baby moves quickly, for example, and maybe your eye didn't catch something, but the AI may have saw something, it could assist in that way. Or it organizes studies in a manner in which, um, you know, this can be very routine for us. We know exactly, what to take, but, we're human. Once in a while, you might look and realize, oh, I didn't get this, or whatever. I think more specifically when we're talking about obstetrics and anatomy scans. So that will assist in keeping that organized. Um, Things like that. That is a positive thing. So I think it's going to take our jobs. No. And I'm going to tell you why. And I might be eating these words one day. But I've had conversations with physicians that have been working with AI, and they'll say in their teaching schools that they're using it and the patients love it, and they envision one day the sonographers not being needed anymore. It'll just be this like robotic arm, and the patient lays down and takes all the images and quick and efficient. And I say to that, you don't know women. I don't know any woman that's going to be okay with coming in for her obstetrics ultrasound and not being able to tell the robot arm, can oh, you know, is that okay? Or can you go back? Can you show me another profile? Is the baby moving? No. or to ask questions about motherhood. Maybe it's the first time that they're going to be a mom and they're nervous. And so they start talking to us about things. I don't see that happening. And maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe at some point people are going to get used to that for maybe a pelvic exam. But I'm sorry, what about the women that I just said that get really nervous and their uterus is contracting? Is that robot arm going to have the capability of relaxing the patient and getting everything they need? Will it be able to do that? I mean, again, I might be eating my own words, but I don't think so. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. Radiology is a different story. And I just had a conversation with a doctor that I know in regards to this as well. That's different because a radiologist reports to the attending physician. So, can I see AI taking that position? I can. Perhaps there'll be a few radiologists available to the attending physicians if they want to consult with somebody that has more experience in something or wants to reach out for a question. But as far as like doing the reporting, I imagine, yes, that's probably going to be a non-existent job or a few, and not as many as we have right now. But time will tell. We'll see. That's the end of my questions. So thank you all of you who sent these to me. I really appreciate it. And next week, everyone should be back. So next week, I'm going to be able to interview one of our wonderful sonographers, and I'm really excited to find out more about them. So, and I hope you will be too. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and call us. We would love to work with you.